Hello and welcome to another episode of our podcast. What's up? I'm your host and your host Fami, and today's episode is very special because we have imported our guest all the way from Vienna, Austria. This is our guest, Moaz Taha. He's my first friend in Malaysia, and now he has made a life of his in Austria as a
Software engineer.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's always wanted to be an engineer. The first time I saw him, before his name, he had Engineer Moaz, and now he still has that email, Engineer Moaz. So, Abang, what's up?
What's up? What's up? I'm really glad that I'm here after all, and I'm really happy to take part of this and seeing you doing all this movement and giving this motivation to still. You have always been this way. Actually, it's not a new thing for you, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Moaz is my first friend in Malaysia. The first time I saw him, he was limping because he had an injury on his knee. He still limps sometimes. Yeah. And usually I ask the guests to introduce themselves, but today I'm not going to ask him to introduce himself. I'm going to introduce him. Okay?
That's even easier.
That's even
Please.
easier, yeah, because he's going to be very humble if I introduce him. Moaz Taha is the reason why many of the MMU mechanical students graduated. And I'm not joking, I'm one of the students. Yeah, he used to be our peer tutor, even though he's my batchmate, we were in the same batch, but he was like smart, unlike us.
Bless you. Come on, slow down. Maybe
Yeah?
better I start.
Yeah, so he was the peer tutor who was favorite of all the lecturers. He was favorite of all the students as well. Yeah, and now he has made his way as a software developer, engineer. Yeah. Although he's a mechanical engineering student. So how's your life been lately in a new country? Like, he's from Egypt. He came to Malaysia to do his degree. Then right after COVID, he moved to Austria. Yeah. So how's that been? Like your whole journey, moving to Malaysia, then going to Austria.
Yeah, it was pretty much. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was super difficult, but you always go with the flow, and then you figure out what you're gonna face, and then you just try to come over it. But part of all of this, I would say the most challenging part wouldn't be moving to another country. It would be more like jumping into another field.
Yeah.
I would say this was the biggest step. That was everything is new. I graduated after 4 years doing your mechanical engineering, moving to another country. Put aside that this country doesn't speak a word in English, doesn't speak any other language that I used to speak. It's just German, pure German. So it was like a hell of experience. And then you're jumping into a new field. You don't know much of information. You're trying to gain this knowledge. And it's very difficult to you don't even know the language that they are speaking. So you cannot even catch some of the words that they are explaining or like understand from your colleagues that easy. So I would say this was a bit challenging, but by the end of the way, you always find your settlement. It's always like a bunch of challenges, and as soon as you're done, you find your settlement and everything is fine.
Yeah, but like, how did you end up bagging a job if you don't know the language? If you're shifting from mechanical to software and IT,
That's
how
a
did that
really
happen?
interesting question.
Yeah.
I would tell you now. Then the whole thing was as soon as I was done with Malaysia, I finished my degree and everything. I've tried to find my ways over here, but I still had at the back of my mind I had to do a master. It's a main part of this whole journey. It's for me. I believed in this before bachelor, and even while you're doing the bachelor, you get to know this even more. Bachelor is just an introduction. It's just telling you what you are about to face. But then, when you take your bachelor, you start to decide what I'm really interested into. What is my passion, or what am I good at? You start discovering your thing. You mentioned that I studied mechanical engineering, but I'm telling you, I was more than certain by the end of the years. I was like, okay, I love software even more than any mechanical systems or force analysis or whatever. I love writing code more. I find myself more in this. So yeah, then this was my step farther, and I think it's a must. It was like, this should be the next step where I'm gonna be specialized into something. And this step, the easiest way to go through it and the most confirmed way is applying for a master. So I applied for a master in Austria. I started at first few months doing my master. But then what made me hope to start working straight away without continuing my master, which I'm regretting at one point, and I would love to come back to this point. I would love to have this master just to get away from being certified, get this deep knowledge. I think everyone who has gone through education, higher education is specific, they really value that deep knowledge, because at the end, this is what identify you. If you're a good engineer, bad engineer, if you are someone who's doing good at your job or not. So it all comes from your deep knowledge. For me, I jumped straight away to start working because I felt at this stage it would be as much earning as I'm doing at master. I know master would give me the strength of understanding the core of everything and being able to build over it and even add on to the science itself. Like if once you're done with master, you know, like the next step will be PhD, and PhD is the big word of or the simple word of saying you are making an addition to the science. You have to come out with something new, and you will only be capable of doing this by finishing master. So what I'm trying to say here is like it was the master and start working. It was at the same. At this point, they had the same qualities for me. They would give the same inputs. This is why I went for my financial stability, starting with work and earning the experience.
I was the other day, I think 2 episodes ago, I was talking and I was telling like how in MMU during our degree we were like a pack. I was telling them about Ahmed, I was telling them about Asim and everyone, you know, and how we used to stay in the mosque, you know. And since this guy just mentioned that he liked coding, so we had a subject called micro P. So in micro P we had an assignment that we had to make an LFR, line following robot, and so he did all the programming. Okay, and we actually got the highest marks. Yeah,
we did. I still remember.
but we failed the final exam. one day before the the micro P exam, we were in the mosque and we were studying, and we were all praying because we don't know like to write down code on the paper. It was
it's crazy.
so and Ahmed was very scared of cats. Okay, so we have this video that I have. Can we show the video? So this is you walking out with the cat because Ahmed is very scared.
Is this me or Mare?
Yeah, no, this is you.
Oh my god.
And then there's Ahmed.
Oh my god. Probably this is how he forgot all about the exam the next day.
And this is how most of us we failed in the exam.
Karma.
Yeah. But see, this is all of us. You can switch it back to WhatsApp. This is all of us during the MMU life.
The bachelor.
Yeah.
Bachelor, yeah. It was a long journey, even though it was a lot of memorable moments.
So do you miss it?
Missing you guys, yes, and the good times and laughter, yes, of course, but the hustle, no.
Okay, so we jumped to today's topic. Today's topic is not something that I'm not very familiar with. It's not my field because I haven't switched my field.
Proud of you. I see you doing podcast.
I'm doing my PhD as well, bro, so it's okay.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So today's topic is cloud wars. Will your job be taken because of no code? So when I first saw the topic, I was like, what is no code? Yeah, but then I Googled no code. Yes. So now I know what no code is. But let's see the definition from an expert.
I wouldn't say much different than the word itself. It's no code. It's just like introducing platforms and tools now that you wouldn't need to have this much or not any technical information and how the code is written and how the software is running. It's more of plug and play and composite, like putting parts together and constructing your own website. I would mention something that I think you would be familiar with and a lot of people, and it's like Shopify. If you heard about it, it's one of the silliest picture of no code. Now you can just enter this website and in exact 5 to 10 minutes, you can have your ready working with all kind of purchases digital platform, like a digital market, your own digital market with the logo and everything. They do it for you from scratch. So this is basically the no code. Is every business owner, whoever is having a business or whoever would like to have his own application, his own website, and you don't have any background about technology and you don't want to learn how to write the code and how to program these softwares, it's more of a platforms that you just gonna plug your features together. It depends on what's the software purpose and which no code platform you need to go for, but it's as simple as that. You're just plugging pieces together. You can put, you could imagine it's just a website, putting the home page, putting the about us. It's just grabbing it from the tools, the options of tools you have, and place it in the screen, and you have your website up and running.
Is it becoming very popular?
Uh, it's really old actually. It's not something very new, but I would say with the AI now making it really powerful a little bit, and it becomes even more easier for people to understand it and deal with it. And getting popular, yeah, of course it's popular. And there is a huge business was built over this. I wouldn't say currently building or a new business entering the field. There is nothing so big happening at the moment. The moment I'm talking about 1 year or 2 years, and because we are talking about this field, which is every year and another, there's something new coming in,
Yeah.
and it's developing really fast.
Yes.
So 1 year without a new product, without a new revolution in this, you would feel like, okay, there's something wrong with this technology, because there must be something in a year for like any kind of technologies nowadays. So yeah, I would say it was trending when it first appeared. It trended like really crazy, getting really popular, to the extent that everyone knows about it right now, at least know how to use it. Maybe you don't know about the term no code, but you would have come through a lot of things that you are doing with automation and using like no code platform at the end, but you just didn't know about the term. So yeah, I would say it's really popular.
So if like, let's say when I was working as a mechanical engineer, if I go back to the same company now, the work is more or less just the same, you know. So I can just pick it up from where I left off, you know, do better, whatever, jump to a higher rank, because many reasons, like you have a master's degree and everything now. But when it comes to fields like IT and computer sciences, software engineering, how frustrating is it? Like every new day there's something new, then like you have to be familiar with this, you have to be familiar with that. How is it frustrating, and like how difficult it is for you to stay relevant and like practical and have a job, like have yourself chances of getting jobs elsewhere?
This is really a challenge for the software engineering in general, because it's literally every 1 or 2 months. We were talking about 1 to 2 years span for technology in general to show something new and keep active, because technology is just like that. If you leave it for 2-3 years without someone who's really taking care of it, then most of the people lose faith, and investors doesn't really like old technologies, because they believe that the trend of improving of this technology or proving the place of it, it's like it should be really quicker. This is what the investor knows. Okay, coming back to the point that how is this affecting me as a developer and how this is really frustrating, I'm telling you, there is an update every 1 or 2 months, and you have to be up to date. It's not an option, because for me, I'm someone who came from a different background. I just jumped into this field. I would think about some other software engineers who not able to find a job right now, and seeing me, okay, this guy came from another field and he got our position, and actually like, you are not supposed to be here. I have studied for 4 years. You came here, you just switched it in few months and you started taking this position. The whole thing happens, and you just need to cope up. And this is where the most challenging part happens, because as soon as a newcomer, someone who did not invest as much time as you invested, you have 10 years of experience, and someone just came in 5 months, he catch up with the newest technology. He didn't need to go through the whole narrative of this technology. He just jumped in, hopped in, studying only the latest one, and he could defeat you in interviews. You could feel how frustrated is this. I see people with a gray hair and in this field, and at one point, really, and at one point, they don't have the enough knowledge to keep them in the market, because the market is really developing every 1 or 2 months. It's like you have to be up to date. 1 or 2 years could kill your career in this software engineer. 1 and 2 years laying back without really catching up with the latest you could be in a serious danger, though.
I was speaking to two of our guests previously about like how Malaysia, China, these countries are very developed when it comes to these sections like softwares and ITs. You have got software for almost everything, you know. But compared to countries like mine, I was talking to the guest like mine and hers. She was from Pakistan. I'm from Bangladesh. We're not as developed infrastructure when it comes to softwares. Yeah. But how is it in Europe? Because you're there. Because I've got some friends who are doing masters in Germany, and they say that, you know, they're not as forward as the US,
And I don't know how forward the US is, because I've spoken to people from the US and they say, oh, I mean, they are astonished seeing a lot of technology that is present in Malaysia or in Thailand.
Yes.
Yeah, but how is it in like Europe?
In Europe, it's more like, see, the technology is like when we talk about software, people mostly think about the invention or the innovation, the new things that comes out of this country. But I would say like software, when you go deeper, there is a lot of sides that you want to maintain. When you have a software, it's not about only the feature you're offering me. It's about how good is this feature working? How less it is getting lagged and interrupted and having bugs and problems. So I would say Europe, the only strength they always had is always having a good system and how to maintain qualities. And this is what they are really good. Also, you could see it in software. You would see that, okay, they are not coming with a real serious new innovation, but you're 100% gaining experience in how to do what's already existing in a really high quality and competitive quality. This is what they actually have. So at this point, I would say they are not as good as US, and they are not, I would say they are above the average in terms of innovation and giving in this science, but they are also maintaining the quality of it. So this what I could see really in Europe, and I could identify that they have a really good quality and how to produce a good code, how to produce a good application that doesn't crash, doesn't have problems, doesn't lag with you, softwares that giving you exactly what you need, but in a really high efficiency, I would say.
But like from day-to-day basis, what sort of technology you use from day-to-day basis? Like for like in Malaysia, you go anywhere, you're scanning something, you're scanning the door,
yes,
and everything.
Good question. Actually, Malaysia is way ahead of them.
Is it right? Like from day-to-day basis?
100%.
Yeah.
It's like here in Malaysia, this is something you could see it in Europe, but this is, I don't know if this is by choice or is it a downside, because you could see in another hand, they are doing, in their cars, they are doing a huge technology which is involving also softwares and technologies that you could compare it with Malaysian car production and German car production. You could see it like everyone knows about it, I guess. So they are making steps forward in some fields, but they are not doing it for public. And I think this is kind of their own decision to keep everything in this system, to make it work all as safe as possible, as long as this system is running and everyone is able to pay for this. They like to maintain the system in this way. I'm talking about the Central Europe mindset, kind of like Germany, Austria, and all of these. They have a system that have been set for years, and there is no need to change it. We're still using a mailbox. We're still sending each other a mail, and you wait for 3 days until it reaches to the authorization. And like, what's wrong with the emails? What's wrong with the digital platform? That's like, this is everywhere in the world. Why they are still sticking to this system? I think there is a different aspect. If we want to talk about what is the benefit they are getting out of this, there is a huge benefit economically, I would say. But for me, I'm not the expert to say why do you still stick to this method of not really developing everything. They don't want to develop everything to have this barcode. Not everyone to be accessing to I don't know, they don't want to give ships into the ICs that takes you to the medical insurance and blah, blah, blah. No, they still stick to the old ways that things are not going too fast as it's going here in Malaysia.
I remember when you were applying to Austria, you had to send all your documents through mail, right? But you don't have to do it in Malaysia or like
nowhere,
no other country.
And it was so sad that I had to send also the original.
Yeah.
So I was not able to apply anywhere else. I was just giving my favorite.
Right.
Yeah, they still having this mentality. I'm telling you, they are gaining something. They are gaining a lot. That's, with my humble point of view, I could see, okay, there is a lot of this system. If you take it out, just like how the question you put, do you think no code would affect you? Or do you think this work, like the work is now, how is it affecting the developer to find a job and to cope up with this? So I think it's, in another point, you would say, if they replaced all the system, what are these people going to do, whoever is working in this system? And they're really fighting against this. And they're fighting it in a different ways. They don't want unemployment. They don't want people who doesn't have jobs, especially old people. And most of them are like the citizenship. They have a population of, I don't know, 70% of them are above 45 years old, 50 years old. People would not be able to adapt easily with the new technologies. You don't want your own citizen to suffer. You don't want them to sit at home because they are not able to cope up with the new technologies that you're introducing to them. So I would say this could be one side of it. That's not the whole thing, but I would say this could be a motivation for them.
Yeah, so basically, like what you see, that they don't abandon the old conventional ways. Like they're still having the thought of having an industry that is fully mechanical before introducing automation and electronics into it. So they have the
Yeah.
basis, the foundation of mechanical, then they can input everything else. It's just like when you see new programmers, they just start with, like me, I just started learning Python. But like if you see a classic programmer, they start from C+, right? So you have know
Yes.
C+, then you can actually move on anywhere.
Yeah.
But like someone like me who's learning Python, beginners, if Python is not in the market anymore, I have to learn something new from the scratch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To the code, it's not exactly like this, but I would say, yeah, Python is quite advanced. You might need to learn something new.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's what's the difference in Europe that they don't abandon their foundation?
As I told you, this would have like different aspect than just software or just technology and their ability of applying this technology. I wouldn't say this is the problem that they are facing for sure. I would say they have different aspects and different looking at the situation where they don't want to shock the society with the new stuff. This is one thing. Another thing, they like to keep things in a way that they give a task for every single. This is something I noticed really different than Malaysia. There is always a person doing even the smallest task, and he's responsible of doing it, and he has a title for this, and he built his whole life over this title. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So they cannot just suddenly abandon all these people, and they have the system really deep to the point that you would go to, let's say you want to finish a paper, you would be passing through few people, and these people will have to pass this paper to another one, and everyone will have his own check, and everyone is covering his own part. And I think digitalizing and using technology in all of this and start abandon the old way means abandon these people as well. These people who are working in this position. And I think this is a big risk of it. But I wouldn't confirm that this is their only concern. I would say they have another ways they could come over this. I would say another point that was a change game for the Central Europe, it was the COVID. When the COVID came with this old system, people were literally, a lot of people for the immigration, I'm talking about something I'm dealing with yearly now. So I have experience with that. The immigration was in a really deep trouble because they didn't have any kind of like thinking about digital approach and sending emails. They were always waiting for mails and processing things by hand and doing appointment face to face and all of that. So you could imagine the amount of people that they had to sit passing their time deadline for a renewal and all of that. And that was a big shock for them. At this point nowadays, you could see they are start finding solution for especially immigration. They could see this in COVID. When it hits, nobody's able to go back home. Nobody's able to identify if he's still alive or not. Are you still in the country? Did you move somewhere? What's your situation? What's your legal definition right now? So they had a really big problem with this thing. And I couldn't see like, okay, why you didn't change it before this? Were you waiting years for COVID to come and tell you, oh, you need to convert to digital because it's much easier? So yeah.
During COVID, we finished our degree on March 2020, and I went back home. I was supposed to come back.
Yeah.
So just COVID just happened. So I was just out of my house, and it was just the first wave. It was not just started getting bad, and I was buying masks. And there was like a guy on the road. He had a bucket and he was selling masks. Okay, so this one guy next to me, he comes and he tries on a mask. Okay, he tries on the mask and then he gives back the mask to the seller and he says the color doesn't suit me. And the guy gives him another mask. So I'm looking, it's like, did you just take his mask, the one he used, and you're gonna resell it? It's like, yeah, of course. So this was my country. But when I came to Malaysia for my masters, it was just right after COVID was dimming down. But still all the rules and regulations were there. I saw the app was My Sejahtera, if I'm pronouncing it right.
Sure.
And everything is so good.
So good. Like
Yes.
if whenever you're going to a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
you scan, and let's say in the same restaurant there was a COVID incident, like
Mm-hmm.
5 of us went to the restaurant, number Z had COVID,
Yes,
you will
then
have a notification on your phone that
that's true,
you're
I
in
still
the yellow
remember.
zone. Yeah, there was COVID detected.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you have to be careful. So that was so good.
Mm-hmm. It was, yeah.
I was like, it was so good that at some point it was annoying. That you have to scan, but when you look at it from an exterior perspective, it's so good because so many countries lost so many lives because they are ignorant, and
Mhm.
another thing is they chose to be ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
like in the US you see a lot of protests going on that,
Mhm.
I wouldn't wear a mask, why would I wear a mask, there's nothing
Yes.
there, but you can see people dying, like what happened to, I think, Italy or
Mhm.
Spain, was it? I don't remember. There's a
It's
lot of deaths. Yeah,
good.
but
Yes.
then kudos to Malaysia, they did really, you were
Mhm.
here, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so everything here was so good. I mean, from the technology perspective, from the app perspective,
To
and
be
every
there.
time you'll take a vaccine, they will update it on the app automatically.
Mhm.
So because when I did my first vaccine in Bangladesh, I had what do you call it? I had a paper that I had to carry.
Mhm.
Then after a while, I got the digital one that I could show.
Okay.
But in Malaysia, it's all in the app.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In Austria, to be honest, we still use the paper. It was a yellow paper, and they had to sign it in you, and this is what you walk with. So
Yeah,
this
so-
is one
so-
part of the story we were talking about. Yeah, it's like it's crazy, and no to look at Malaysia and how the recovered at this time from this problem. The digital part was a huge part of it.
And
like
you know
how they
which companies
digitalized
closed?
everything.
Which
Mm.
shops closed when I came back? You know which shops closed? The
Mm.
shops who didn't take cards and QR codes. The ones who only took cash,
Cash.
they actually closed because no one was exchanging in cash.
Exactly.
The shops were not there. I was wondering why are the shops not there anymore. Then they said they were just dealing in cash.
Oh
like
my
during
God.
COVID, how are you gonna go to the ATM? Plus, why would you wanna key in? Yeah.
It could be a killing point. If you just wait for the disaster to happen, then start coming out with a solution for it, you don't always have the time.
But like how's life balance? Let's say I have friends in Finland and their life is very good. I think they go on a 4-day a week work
Yes.
schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But in Malaysia or in Singapore, you see people are too much invested in their, what do you call it, work. It's all the time work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also in the US, I have a lot of friends who moved to the US for their PhD, and they're under scholarship. They're doing their PhD. They have TA, teaching assistantship. They have RA, research assistantship. Plus, they have to go for the classes, which is very, very, very hectic.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got some friends in Europe as well. Like, but it looks they're laid back,
Mhm.
and their work is more qualityful. I mean, they don't have any. If they're in a scholarship for masters or PhD, they don't have much requirement that you have to publish this paper. I mean, you can publish one paper, but the paper is very, very good. Like you can see the quality of the paper.
This,
Yeah. So how's like life in Europe, like work-life balance?
And in Europe it's different, but I would say in Austria it's like they really take care of this to an extent. Yes, they give you the flexibility to choose whatever you want to do. If you want to be a workaholic, you can do this. As soon as you're tired, you can tell them I'm tired and I want to slow down. They don't have this constraints. I would say yes, here in Malaysia back on the time, they were really pushing us forward in MMU. I would say they like to get the best out of you, giving you all the sets.
video we just saw.
Yes.
5 a.m. in the morning. we
You
were there.
you would need to do this, but I wouldn't deny that this teach you a lot.
Yeah.
This made a really strong one out of you, like who could really maintain this. And for me to have this work-life balance, it's like a personal preference, right? It's like someone who really feels comfortable when he works. People put their stress out in work sometime, and they feel their pleasure and their success in work. And some other they like to chill, do things more slowly with more like thinking deeper and thinking about the next step and all of that. In Europe they have this option, so this is what I really like. They give you both options. You want to be a workaholic, you want to choose this kind of life, it's your thing, but at the same time they promote you like, oh, don't get a burnout, and they give you lectures and like how to manage your stress and all of that. And as soon as you're tired, you can come to one point and tell them I want to work only for like 30 hours or 25 hours. I'm not really specific, and then you will get the same salary. This
Wow.
is from the government, is like giving you this thing. If you feel tired at one point, I'm so tired now, I'm requesting a work-life balance. I have been giving a lot for so long. Then you can guarantee having the same exact salary that you were taking for 40 hours, but working instead 25 hours, like 3 days a week or 4 days. So they still, yeah.
So when you see all these new things like no codes and AI driven output, a lot of people have surrounded their businesses censoring this. Like, let's say there are agencies who creates websites, develops websites and everything. Okay, so these agencies are people with coders, with software developers, with IT technicians and everything. But that at one point you see another company comes in and they say, you know what, we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna let what the clients decide what they want. So we're just gonna put all our options in a website. They can just mix and match, which is
Yes.
basically no code, right? So let's call this this team B, and then there's team A, which is a conventional group of people. They will sit with their client one, but then they see that team B is doing way better. So how frustrating it is for team A.
To be honest, is like, first of all, I'm more with the team A.
Yeah.
All the way, please. So, yeah, with team A is like, they both have different advantages. To be honest, it's like, yeah, you have to be smart at the end. You use every tool you have. Even if you're a software developer and there's someone is offering you no code, and a client came asking you for a work that you know you can apply it with no code, it wouldn't be wise enough to invest the whole team with the project management, with the people from different platform, making an architecture for all of this, and you could finish it with no code platform. But it's still, they are not on the same level. You can never compare both of them. This guy who choose to work with no code only, let's say you have a team with no code, then you are not a software company. You're just someone who is featuring things together, designing it together with a very limited feature, very limited. And I really mean it. There is no platform up until now, and we are talking about years ahead, even with the AI or whatever. There will be no platform that gives you all your desires of features and combination and complexity of software that you are looking for. Someone is coming for streaming and he wants to have this kind of thing and features and a camera where you can add filters and so on. This all of things you cannot do it with no code. There is no chance. And even if you do it with no code, you come to the dead point of no code. The dead point there that you cannot really upgrade it based on your willing. Because I have used this platform, they offer me the software all built together in this way. Then after some time, I realize Apple are adding more strength to their processor. They are adding more capability to do with your applications. Yet, the platform I used at the first place to do this no-code software is not up to date. And they haven't provided me the update yet. So what happened with the no-code software is that you end up at one point controlled by the owner of the platform that you used at the first place. Did they update their platform? Did they offer you this feature? It's no longer your ask. You're not the one who's asking to do this feature. Like how when you have a professional team developing this thing for you from scratch, you have the full flexibility to update it, bring it up to date, really following everything up to date, or even removing feature, adding on a new feature and changing the shape of this feature and make it really compatible with my customers. Because you always produce your software and then realize, okay, I need to do some adaptation for after the customer give me a feedback, the users give me a feedback. Then you don't have this in hand with no code, of course. So I wouldn't really compare them unless we are doing the same exact project. Then I shouldn't blame the team B that they were using no code. I should blame team A that being really outdated. You can
let's say that we have got a very state of the art no code software, okay? And me as a client, now I want to start, let's say we call it Flux here, they call it Tumblr.
Okay.
So I want to start a Flux business that I want to sell online. So every transaction, everything will be done online. So you want to buy this Flux, you want to pay online and everything, okay? So everything has to go through the website. So this sort of website, what if I try to make it from a no code? Is it even possible? Or if it is, what are the limitations?
100%.
Like, would it be secure?
secure and possible and really quick, efficient and beautiful. This you could do
with
it
with no code.
Yeah, you're doing a digital market, right? Like a commercial website.
Yeah.
Selling flask. Yeah. This is Shopify. Shopify, you would need 30 minutes to learn how to do it. And then as much time as you invest in it just to beautify your page, it's based on your choices. And you would be able to do it in one night, launching your business in the next morning if you have the products at home, 100%.
Yeah, but let's say when you have things like transactions that are done online through this website, are those transactions secure? That's one question.
They are, because
Then
they come through one tunnel at the end. It's like the provider, the platform that provides you the services, and they are the people who are
handling the transactions.
Yes, and then
What if they run away?
then yeah, you have to chase them.
Because like let's say if I'm doing my what do you call it, my website from that team A, I know that the people who are in charge, so I know who to chase. But team B, I just know their app name or their software name, their website name. I don't know who to chase.
Yes,
That's another one thing. Next thing is bugs. Like let's say if I make this over one night, a Shopify thing, and there are bugs, how is it difficult for me to fix those bugs compared to if
it's almost impossible. You can just file a report, and you, I think you have enough experience in your life with filing report
Yeah.
to big companies.
but doesn't work, like nothing happens.
Sometimes, most of the time, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Actually, yes. They try to. I would say to choose your platform also where you want to use it, even if not every no-code platform means it's reliable and it's a good thing. Of course, it's just like you have to do your investigation, make sure that you're getting involved, because at the end, I told you, it comes to a point that you can really call it a corporation. You are not in charge of your software. Someone else is in charge of it. So you have to make sure that you're putting it in a safe hands and making sure that this person is reliable, their software is working properly, because you're even to advance with this and to get up to date, because this is a really red line for softwares, because you can see, I don't know if it's okay for us, we're mentioning a lot of platforms and a real trade names. I don't know if this is good or not, but I'm saying compare like how when the TikTok came out, and then was with the videos and all, it was straight away followed by Instagram, followed by Facebook, followed by YouTube having the shorts. All of them, they start updating their software to start having this feature. Imagine if they were built over no code, and then the platform that provided you the software told you, oh, we don't have this feature yet for adding videos. You could see all your competitors are going ahead of few steps, and everyone started addicted to their applications. Yet I'm still waiting here for my platform that give me the no code to give me the permission. Oh, we added the feature, you can use it now. So this is a really downside of it. You are not in charge of it, and you have to think about it. Really, it's a corporation, whether I like it or not. Like we have mentioned this website, Shopify, and there's a lot other websites. It's the same thing, but this one is offering you also like when it's mainly Shopify is mainly for commercial, by the way. So every time you are selling one item, they are taking percentage. This is how deep this cooperation is. It's not only about no code. We are offering you the code, we are offering you the digital commercial platform, and we are taking percentage of your selling, we are taking care of your software, we are taking care of your transaction and everything. So you should be careful of who you're choosing to deal with.
I see. Oh, that's
Yeah.
a whole lot of different things I had no idea about.
Yes,
Yeah, that's scary.
No, yeah. For me, especially as a software engineer, I feel like, okay, this could be scary at one point, but nah, it's too early to even think about this. It's too early.
But what is it that you enjoy so much about coding?
It's problem solving, I would say.
And they solve problem everywhere. Why coding?
It's really, you know, you can solve a problem. It's like mechanical. You have this point also. Software is like fully depending on how you want to customize it. It's like a language. You are talking to someone else to solve the problem with this one. So the computer is just as dumb as it is. It's just 1 and zeros. But we don't deal with the 1 and zeros. They give this more advanced language that you can talk with it. But at the end, you are trying to solve a problem that he's facing. He's this is the bugs actually. Sometimes you look at it in this way. It's like the bug is the computer is telling you, I don't know how to do it. I'm still stumbling. I'm trying to do it, but this picture is just disappearing by itself. And then you try to talk them. Okay, then you can take it, put it here, put it there. This kind of problem solving. This is what really entertained me in this job, to be honest. And doing it over and over, like with the time, and being so good in how can you find this problem, spot it quickly, and then make it in the shortest, cleanest way, how to deliver it to them. And then how this thing is really improving really quick, being up to date, and then seeing how the things I learned last year. And I was fascinated how advanced, oh my God, this is a big step in technology. And then next year you see something even overcoming this step and telling you, oh, what you learned last year, it was nothing. A lot of people find this a hustle. For me, I find it really entertaining that you can see how developing is this thing, how big is it getting, and how smart these people can work on. And this gives you actually a chance because tells you there is no limits at one point.
So when an industry is very fastly growing, it's I mean it's very beneficial for your personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
So just as I was saying, if I go back to my mechanical engineering job, I would start from the same place. So after like what 4 years, 5 years, there's no growth as such. But if you were to like take a break for 1 year and then you want to go back to developing software, you're gonna be bombarded with new things that just rose, and you're like you have to you have to pick up the pace again.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's about personal growth. Like you have more chances of personal growth. Wow.
I would say
I really need to learn Python as fast as I can, man. I just started.
And to be honest, it's like independent. Like
Yeah.
it's one of the field that you really need no teacher, no classroom to learn it.
Yeah, and people are working remotely. Like if you go to all these places, tropical places like Thailand, you go to Bali, Indonesia, you go to the Philippines, you meet a lot of these people who are working remotely. Yeah. But you also see a lot of Germans who are just backpacking. Yeah, they're like, I met a few teachers who are like, yeah, we are on a break. It's okay. We'll take a break for 3 months and then we'll figure out life. And like figuring out life when you don't have a job and you can still roam across continents. I mean,
they give them money still because you have this rules as if you sit at home for almost a year or two. They give you 90% of your salary until you find the next job.
Wow,
so these people are running salary while they are just roaming around, trying to get their life balance, as you call it. So,
okay. Yeah. My cousin, he's 8 months older than me, and he is German. You know, right?
Yeah, I guess you told me about this.
He's German and he's white as white, and now he's working in Luxembourg. Yeah, so money.
Yeah.
And then we went on a video chat. It was quite some time ago, and he said that he's doing okay. He's working for a bank, a very big bank in finance or accounting, and he got approached by some what do you call it? Some people who hires people in Dubai, and they're calling him in Dubai, like
Okay.
why don't you come to Dubai and work for us? And Dubai is, you can make tons of money in Dubai. Yeah, but he still wouldn't go in Dubai. So I was like, why wouldn't you go in Dubai? And the simple reason is like my life here, I'm making good enough money. My life is really laid back. I mean, I can enjoy my life as also I can work, but in Dubai it's not gonna be the same. I mean, it might be easy, but it's not gonna be the same. Yeah, so I envy.
I envy that he got the options actually. But this is one part of the truth. A lot of people they choose they're convenient, and I would say this is not wrong also.
It's not wrong. I mean, the thing I envy is they have the options. As your skin color changes, you have a lot of options, bro.
It's not only
your
about
shade gets lighter, you got a lot of options.
And also no, let's put it in this way. It's when I told you about the quality they are having in technology, and I'm pretty sure that this is happening in all departments, all fields. You could see it with your own eyes, but I wouldn't say there's something very special about software that they are practicing quality this much and they are overlooking other fields. So I'm not sure like what was your cousin is working again?
He's working in a bank.
In a bank, yes. And then this bank, I would say the knowledge he has in this bank, it's still, and I'm someone who's coming back from there. I've worked in Malaysia, I've been living in Kuwait and Egypt. I seen the work there, maybe worked part time, but never been like consistently working. I would judge. I would be in a place that to judge between this all. What's the main thing that every business owner is looking for? Is a good quality. We need to be in the market, competitor in the market. And then to be competitor in the market, you don't need someone who's really in rush to do things and making like just finishing things up. This mentality, you find it the best in this region. In this region, as you said, they're not pressuring them. They tell them, take your time, take all what you need, just do your best to get out with something really good. It's gonna take you 2 years, 5 years. No one is rushing you, no one is pressuring you. But the most important thing, come out with a quality. And I would say this is what's happening with your cousin. The prospective investors
but
is like looking for
one
this.
of the thing is like for this, a lot of before a product comes to the market, there's a lot of research and development that goes on. And for these countries, the first world countries, all these research and developments are done via research programs, which are basically masters and PhD students, most of them. Yeah. So my friend who's studying in Malaysia is doing masters here, and recently he went to a conference in Spain. Yeah. So there were like a lot of people from different parts of the world. And then he told me that the projects were so different. Like this part of the world, Malaysia, Singapore, India, we talk mostly about ideas. So our research is revolving around ideas, and some of the ideas we portray through simulations and stuff. But when you go to the European projects or the US projects, it's not ideas, it's done. It's like prototype. It's you have a little development and it's ready to be in the market. So I was talking to my friend who's just gotten into a University of Notre Dame in the US, and I don't have much idea about how it goes in the US. So I was like, how long is your PhD? He says 5 years. His PhD is 5 years. Normally PhDs are like 3 years. I mean, you can extend up to 5 years. So his PhD is 5 years, fully funded by the university for 5 whole years. Allowance and everything. But again, the eligibility is that you have to finish the project properly. We don't care much about what are you publishing, but we care about the outcome of the project. I think this is one of the reasons that all the products that are coming out are very solid, because it went through proper research and development compared to this part of the world.
Yes.
Which I say, in this part we talk about possibility. Possibility is binary. Yes, it's possible. No, it's not possible. It's very binary, right? But on that part of the world, I think they talk about probability. Yeah, like I think this 95% chance this thing will work in hands, blah 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 blah.
Yes,
yeah, so that might be one of the reasons that they are work. And if you look at those countries, I was in Thailand a couple of years ago, and I was talking to this guy from Queensland, Australia. And he's telling me, mate, like it's typical Australian, mate. Australians, they don't work. I say, you know, a lot of my friends are in Australia, from Bangladesh, from Malaysia, from all these countries. Like, why are you taking in so many foreigners? It's like, because we don't work. Yeah, so all these people come in and they do the work for us. Same thing, all of the research scholars that you see in Europe, in America, all these countries, even in Malaysia, the best cited professor in Malaysia is Professor Saidur Rahman. He is Bangladeshi. He is ranked first in Asia, 7th in the whole world. Yeah, but here you'll see the problem I spoke before, that a lot of locals, they are not trying to dedicate, as you said earlier in this podcast, that I wanted to do my master's for deep knowledge. Yeah, which takes time. Yeah, so no one wants to dedicate it, but everyone wants the outcome. Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah,
I would say yes. You see, this problem is everywhere. It's like when people live taking, your cousin. Let's bring him in the story again. Hopefully he doesn't watch us and feel like, oh, these guys are looking in.
It's okay.
No, but your cousin, bring him into the story and thinking about what's his convenient. and how happy he is about living his lifestyle right now. And then you tell him, okay, you're gonna gain more money. You can go for like a short period, try to make up like some good saving and come back, build up something bigger. But it's more about you don't have this type of people who are always chasing something, who's always want to do something bigger than they are already have. A lot of people feels quite okay with what they have. And if they drop down, they only feel like, okay, I have to climb up exactly where I was. You get what I mean? So this different type of people, it's always exist. You can never get rid of it. And it's not about Australian. It's not about this is Malaysian, this is Bangladesh, this is from Egypt. It's all about some of them. They really want to dig deeper. Some of them they really want to go into somewhere. And somebody else who's choosing their convenient. And I'm telling you, 100%, I love both sides because they have a huge qualities. At one point, let's put it in a real context. As like when you live your whole life for 20 years and keeping everything aside that you like and everything that could make you feel relaxed, you didn't even take the chances to sometime experience this and value it. And then you just keep everything behind you and keep chasing. I'm pretty sure there will be one point and you feel like, oh, I have missed on these things. You get what I mean? But then on another side, let's say 20 years, and you're just abusing this convenience and taking all kind of chances to relax and lay back.
Yeah.
In 20 years, you will still have the same feeling. I was like, oh, what did I do?
Yeah.
What should I do now when I don't have energy to work? Where is my money? Where's my backup? Where's this and that? So it's more about this and how you plan for your future. So I don't think it's a Australian problem or it's anyone who likes to work, who doesn't like to work. It's all about how they feel about it right now and how they look for their future. So
Yeah, that's true. But as you said, there's a financial backup by the government, which is a huge thing. Which is like even if you're not working, if you're taking some time off, the government is taking care of you.
Yeah, to an extent,
so
though.
That,
To an
that
extent.
one, those part of the deal really backs you up. Because if you're not financially stable, you're not mentally stable. If you're not mentally stable, you have
Able.
physical issues as well. Yeah, but I agree. But there are people with different perspectives. But I feel like in this part of the world, if you're not ambitious, it's very difficult for you to stay in stay in competition. But on that part of the world, if you're just a regular guy, if you're just going with the flow guy, you can have a good life. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You can, just like my cousin, getting more money is an exchange. Like if I go to Dubai, I'll get more money, but what am I exchanging? I'm exchanging my time, my peace of my mind, which I don't think it's maybe he didn't think it's a fair exchange. I'll take less money, I'll have more time to spend with my family, blah 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 blah. Yeah, so you have that luxury of choosing. Is that that's what I'm saying?
But you have mentioned something really important.
Yeah.
It's like getting this convenient of having a backup and support. I think this is a must, and this is what's really bringing us backward. Apart from having all kind of concern about quality, what I just mentioned, what you said is the real deal, because there's no productivity if you don't have a peace in mind, and there is no peace in mind. It's no way. You could eat, but some people would tell you, "Oh, take care of your health because a good brain and a good body, stuff like that." But I would say like the most important thing is financial stability at this nowadays.
At this age,
Yes,
yeah. See,
yeah.
I can't even get married now because I'm not stable.
No. It's one part of it. It's like getting married is just adding a disaster to your financial stability.
Your wife is just there.
But the thing is like, to keep it simple, to keep it simple.
She's laughing, guys. We're gonna
Keep it
have a
simple
bad
and
day
pure.
today.
I think I'm not having a place to stay in tonight. It's okay. So what I mean is like, having this financial stability gives you the peace of mind.
Yeah.
Getting the peace of mind increase your chances of being really productive, even if you're working very less time. This is their approach of the whole thing. It's like, we don't need you to work more. Work 5 hours, but with a clear mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. With
That's
a
what's
clear mind.
happening in Finland, like 4 days, as I mentioned.
Yes.
So, okay, tell me, you gave up doing your masters because of financial stability, and in the show we discussed like ever since I started doing this show, I am very curious on why people want to do masters. You know. So I was going to a couple of weeks ago. There was a career talk, a career fair in Sunway. So I had to give a talk on like balancing life. So before giving the talk, I was very curious on why are people taking their masters? Like, what could be the reason? So one of the very obvious reason is like, you know, you reach a financial plateau at your work, so your salary is not increasing. Getting a new degree will increase, and there are some companies who will only promote you only if you have a master's degree, and we've seen those people here in MMU as well. Like, we have students in MMU who are doing their masters just because they need that promotion. We had Faris here, from Yemen. Yeah, he told me he wants to do masters, even though he's doing amazing in the field of AI, and he's a big shot now. So the only reason he told me he wants to do a masters as a backup plan. So I was like, what backup plan? He's like, at one point, if I don't want to work anymore, I just want to have a masters as my backup, so I can work as a teacher, as a lecturer. Which to my mind is like, wow. I was in Mid Valley in an education fair, and I had this one potential candidate who came for DBA, Doctor of Business Administration, and I said, what's your profession? She tells me that she runs her own family business. I was like, why do you need to do DBA if you have a family business? She said, it's a personal promise. So that's like stubborn people. I have a friend who runs one of the biggest paper mills in back home, and he's doing MBA. He doesn't even need a degree because his business is going amazing. So I said, why are you doing MBA? Like, why are you doing a master's? He said, when I'm in a room, because I'm managing all the big shots of the company and all these people are educated, when I'm in the room, they are very respectful to me because I am the boss. I am where the money comes from. But whenever I try to give an input, you know, this will do benefit, they don't try to take me seriously because I am younger than them and I don't have a master's degree. So whenever I'm going out of the room, they throw tantrums at me, which I get to know in some sorts. So the reason I want to do my master's is to be on that level of respect, that I'm not some ignorant, like I know what's been going on. All these things, very simple things, very fascinating things. Another thing, when I was inviting you, that I thought like why a lot of people wants to do masters is migration. They want to do masters overseas. Foreigners are doing masters in Malaysia because they want to slowly migrate. Let's say they stop by in Malaysia, then they want to migrate somewhere. Yeah, like Mohammed, he went from Qatar to Germany. Yeah. So this is one of the reason migration. So you agree to that, right? But other than that, when you are saying that you really want to do a master's, like even why is it specifically now that you are almost financially stable? Yeah, apart from the fact that you're married.
No, the thing about master, as I told you, I really see the value of learning things from the basis and knowing deep. Like your friend mentioned, he's staying in his company. He needs to give an input. Of course, he doesn't just want to put this input because he's the owner of this business. He would love to take his business forward. And yeah, this is exactly what you're doing to your career. This guy is having a company, so the best master would be for him is MPA. But if you are doing a mechanical engineering, and I want to go step forward in my career, and I really want my inputs to be heard in a hall or in a conference, and to step ahead. Let's say this is not your own business, you're just cutting your way through. And the only way to go through this is to have a solid knowledge, a deep knowledge about this, a structured way of thinking. So as I told you, bachelor in general, and everyone who obtained bachelor knew that he was always learning the basis and the foundation of whatever he had an interest. But then to move forward and to give in something useful and to really cut his way through in his career, he has to have a specialization. And this is where master comes in the game. This is the most important part, at least for me. This is what I was saying. I want to move forward in a software engineering. I studied a whole bachelor of mechanical, and at the end, it gave me a slight strength in my software skills that I needed to start my career. But if I want to move on with my career really farther and have really my strong inputs in everything, I shouldn't only depend on the experience that will come in the way while I'm doing my daily work. because at one point you might stuck with your work, you don't have much of advance or problems, your company is not making this big new deals that you're learning much from it. So the only way is to really move forward is to have the good base of understanding of what you're doing, and this would be through a master. You wouldn't go for another bachelor because it's just giving you another foundation. Going for a course, it's just strengthening you in a very small spot. But taking a master in a specific field, especially I would recommend it for me. I decided to start with my work first, because after a few years with work, you know exactly what you need. You know what would help me in this field. So once you have this answer, what do I need? What do I need to learn? And then you know that there is a 2 years dedicated learning in what's gonna build up your future, what you're gonna pursue for the next 20 years. But you need to just give this 2 years, and then you have a strong, solid base that you sit in any room, you know what's going on. You know what these people are talking about. You know what could be the next solution. Opening your, I would always say, like, education, it doesn't teach you how to do things. It just opens up your mind to expect things and perspectives, to just analyze it and know what could be good for you. So it's more or less this is my main reason why I need the master. I know now what do I need in my career, and then the next step should be my master, just to strengthen this path.
So that's true. Because I'm checking all the applications, local applications for masters and PhD. We have a lot of candidates who are applying for courses such as software engineering, which is fully ODL. Other than that, we have 2 new courses that are fully ODL in the field of IT, AI, artificial intelligence, and cybersecurity, fully ODL. So I've got candidates who are applying for these courses. When I see their what do you call it, their bachelors and their resume, they all come from different field. Okay, so I've got someone who's joining our AI next intake, and she comes from health science or something. Yeah, but she, ever since she graduated from that department, she's only been working in IT. So her work has only revolved around IT, and that's the reason she wants to do what do you call it, a certified master's program, so that she can take her career to the next level. Same for all the other courses as well. For a lot of engineers who are doing managemental stuff in their company, they enroll for our engineering business management course. Because even though their background is engineering, they are doing a lot of managemental job. That's why they're enrolling for our engineering business management. We have a master's in telecommunication now. Yeah. Apart from all these, we have, as you know, we have a lot of research programs. And the good thing about MMU is they have proposed all these research topics that are very practical. And you can see it in MMU. A lot of the things are implemented inside our campus. Yeah. For instance, my PhD is a smart campus system. Yeah. So my supervisor said, because my master's was in energy harvesting, I only did for vibration. So this time I said, I don't want vibration only itself. We want to explore solar as well, because solar is a big medium. So my supervisor said, okay, let's come up with the plan. So the plan is we're going to take both the options of solar and vibration, and then we're going to come up with a module that supports our campus system so that it can be on energy saving mode. So of course it will be implemented in our campus. So all the MMU courses, especially for masters and PhD in research, are catered towards practicality, which is an amazing thing, an amazing learning point for not only MMU but Malaysia itself, that we are progressing.
100%. Yes. You're just putting the thing that everyone is looking after right now, as like, especially with having this renewable energy, and depending on this with the maintaining the global warming and all the weather changing that we're witnessing nowadays. It's really brilliant idea. I really like this, and this is one part of MMU. This is true. This is one part of MMU culture, that whatever you're doing something that you can get involved in. You can really feel the attachment to your project, because some people, they would be like, out of the sudden you're doing something that you cannot see in real life, it's not even something you can implement in Malaysia or in MMU. It's just you're studying something that somebody else is using it in a daily basis, seeing it around them, being able to imagine it. So I would say this is not the kind of race that I want to be in. But in MMU, they give you the right track.
Yeah,
They show you exactly what you really need to.
Yeah.
If we are running on a race, I have to know where am I heading and where is the finish line.
We did our FYP under the same supervisor. Yeah. And the funniest thing, okay, this is the funniest story. Not the funniest story, but one of the stories that we had our final presentation on a Wednesday that I remember. And I went to his house. It's like, bro, are you ready? And he's chilling. And then at one point, I said, are you ready for tomorrow? He's like, for what? I was like, what do you mean for what? I was like, yeah, for what? I was like, our presentation. Yeah. This guy was like, no, it's not my presentation tomorrow. I was like, bro, your presentation is 9 a.m.
Oh my God.
So the next day at 9 a.m., he goes to one of our friends, Jawad, and he steals his suit and tie, everything. He comes late. So the next guy goes before him. Then it's Maz. All of us, we have a 30 minutes session. Yeah. So 10 minutes question answer and 20 minutes of presentation. So I'm sitting here like this. Our supervisor is an expert on material engineering. The coordinator is an expert on material engineering. Noah speaks for 30 minutes. Before speaking, he said, if you guys listen to me for 30 minutes, he's talking to the supervisor, you'll know everything about materials. And I'm like, bro, they're PhD holders in materials. And then after 30 minutes, he goes like, and that is the end of our literature review. Now we'll go to methodology. My supervisor is in the first bench. He texted me. And I was like, what is he texting me from the first bench? I see he tells me, don't spend too long in the presentation.
That's the most important thing.
Anyways, it's been an amazing session. I'm so happy that my guest came all the way from
Vienna.
No, Kelantan.
Oh yeah.
My bro is now half Malay because he got hitched in Malaysia. Yeah, I'm so proud of him. Yeah.
So happy for that.
Yeah. So I'm very happy that he was here. We spoke in depth not only on today's topic about no code and us having job. We also spoke about work cultures across the globe, across the continents, and how things are in reality from someone who has been to many places, unlike me. Yeah.
Come on.
So it's been very interesting, and I know a little more about no codes now. I'll definitely try it on, but meanwhile, I'll finish learning Python because he's been telling me to learn programming for a long time. So I'm very grateful that you made your time. Yeah, I'll see you again, and everyone, Selamat Hari Raya. Okay, your Malay should be better than mine, right?
Selamat Hari Raya.
Okay, Eid Mubarak. Have a great Eid. Have a great month of Ramadan. Stay close to your family because I am away from my family this Ramadan, this Eid as well. So take care, stay good, stay healthy, and stay tuned to our next episode of What's Up.
Hello guys, I'm Fahmi and this is my friend. Hello, I'm Ebi. Hello Ebi. Hi. So we understand in Multimedia University that life has given you a lot of constraints, but we don't want you to limit yourself. That's why in Multimedia University we have catered courses that are fully conventional as well as fully ODL. So for conventional subjects we have MBA, Master of Creative Multimedia, Master of Telecommunication, and Master of Engineering Business Management. What do we have for ODL, EB? For ODL, we have Executive MBA, we have Master of Information Technology in AI and Cybersecurity, and we have Master of Computer Science in Software Engineering. Yes, that's correct. So for our research-based postgraduate programs, our applications are open throughout the year. For coursework-based programs, our applications are open twice a year. It's in March, in July, and in October. So don't wait and make your application online right now. We want to see you in MMU because there's you in MMU.